ongoing conversation around our problems around gender-based violence. Now, every day, as you know, in South Africa, there are reports of women and children who have been abused and killed by their loved ones. Many believe the lack of attention and love received by the boy child in South Africa is one of the main causes. For more on this, I'm joined by Kheswa, and he's with an organization known as the Ignite the Mind Academy. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Sia. First of all, tell us more about Ignite the Mind Academy. What is at the core of the work that you do?
Morning to all the viewers, and thank you for having me this morning. Basically, Ignite the Mind is an academy which was formed by Mr. Masocha Msiza, who is famously known as Ngonzi from Ozar. What we offer in the Ignite the Mind academies are services such as whereby we have programs for kids that has to do with empowerment in our society. For example, like teaching them how to act, how to be a script writer, how to be able to sell yourself, and then productions in terms of TV, how can you become a performer or whatsoever. So basically, it has to do with youth empowerment, basically.
Now, last week we had a conversation with a gentleman who works on sort of the social empowerment of young men,
Yes.
many of which grow up without a father figure or positive male figure in many of our communities
Yes.
in South Africa. So through Ignite the Mind Academy, you believe by giving them some kind of direction, some
Yes.
kind of craft,
Yes.
that will lead the way to young boys and young men feeling like they have purpose, and in that way help stem this tide that would lead them to act out in an aggressive way often, and often to the detriment of our children and women.
Yes. Basically, what is happening is with gender-based violence, you find normally that we are having a high rate of gender-based violence in our society currently. And we as Ignite the Mind feel and believe that there is a solution. We can have a zero rate of gender-based violence, where else we have a program that we are running for kids, a boy child, which is called Spark the Brain of a Child. Where else we are giving a boy child a platform and opportunity and channel them in opportunities at an early age. What is lacking in our society is to say we need to give a boy child a platform from birth to childhood, from childhood to school level, from school level to manhood. How so? Mostly in our society, we have this tendency to say, or we have this stereotype mindset to say, when you are a boy child, you need to be strong. For example, when you're growing up as a child, when you fall down, when you start to cry, our parent will harass you and say, hey, stand up, you're a boy, you need not to cry. Whereas when it's a woman or a girl child, when he fall down, he will be given a sweet and say, no, please calm down. So by so doing, we are building something out of a boy child to say, I need not to show or express my emotions when I'm feeling pain. As he grew up, he became to have anger, violence that leads to gender-based violence that is taking place
and
in
not
our
having
society.
a healthy outlet for those emotions.
Exactly.
Now, in closing, tell us what kind of reaction you've had from the young boys and young men that have taken part in this specific program at your academy.
Basically, I'll make a typical example. We have a school in Tladi which is called Rotlwile, which I was given a platform by an organization called Mo Africa Ihlokomele to service the school. Whereas there were students at the age of between 5 to 13 years who were problematic at school in such an extent that they would swear teachers, they would bully other students at school, and then they didn't find a solution for something like 2 years. And then they called us in to say, how can we help? When I was given a platform to share or sit down with the students to understand what is the problem, most of them you will find that they are not given attention at home. Some their parents are drunkards, some their parents do not pay attention to them. So I said to myself, no, we can come with a solution. Where else I said to them, no, let us give you a platform or channel you to opportunities and see how best can we do. And then we took them for a tour whereby we introduced them to golf cross, went to a golf cross, we taught them about the golf, what is the purpose of the golf, why a young person should play a golf and whatsoever. And then we promised them to say, if you are going to do good at school, and then you are going to behave, there are more trips that are going to take place. We are going to give you attention. And then you can be surprised. Not so long ago, after 3 days, I've got a report from the principal saying these kids are starting to show a different behavior from the behavior, and they passed on the 3rd term. And then not so long ago, the principal gave me a call and said, all of those kids have managed to pass and they are going to the next grade. And bear in mind, from the first term and second term, those kids were failing. Why is this happening? Because when you are giving a child a platform or an opportunity to listen what are the needs of the child, that simply means you're making him feel special. And when you're making him feel special, he will feel free to open up about the things that he loves, rather than you suggesting what is it that is good for a child. So it is very important for us, in our society especially, to give attention to understand the boy child, give the boy child a love, and channel them to opportunities at an early age. By so doing, I assure you, my sister, we are going to have a harmless and a safe society in which we can be proud of.
Well, we can only wish you all the best if that is some of the success that you've had. Thank you so much for coming to speak to us this morning. Sia Kheswa is with the Ignite the Mind Academy. You can find out more about them on social media. Thank you so much.